Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Mark's Monday Minutes in Real Estate. It is Monday, August 29th, and I'm dressed up because it still feels like summer. I'm still loving the summer short sleeves, my farmer's tan. It just still feels like summer, so I decided to wear a Hawaiian shirt today. All right, let's talk real estate. Let's talk about this last weekend. I was out looking at houses with two buyers on Sunday. There are some good deals going on out there, but they're not great because the market is still solidly in a good seller's position. They're strongly in the driver's seat. How so? Well, let's talk about the numbers, because if you're thinking about an impression of the market based on numbers you were hearing about back in May and June and early July, I'm sorry, you might be a bit disappointed. What do I mean? Well, let's dig into the numbers and I'll show you what the data says. Okay, it is the week of August 29th. The number of current active listings as of today is 4,258. This has been a steady decline now for 4 weeks in a row. So the number of active listings is slightly trending down. Now the number of new listings, in fact, has dropped even more. We're down to 539 listings. Well, 4 weeks ago, we were up at 685 new listings in the previous week. What does that mean? This is normal. The apex, the high point of our summer for new listings coming on the market is typically the end of July. That's exactly what we saw this week. This is a month later, the end of August, and they've been dropping now for 4 weeks consistently. The number of pending homes is sitting just below 600 at 579. So for the third week in a row, we've had more homes go pending than have come to market. This is good. The number of active listings is coming down. The pendings are, okay, let's see. Active listings are slightly down. Number of pendings have caught up. They're going to crest as well, just like two waves going forward. What's interesting are the number of homes that are coming back on the market simply for a reason. Either the buyers got cold feet, inspections turned out with a negative result, or it just didn't work out. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes buyers don't qualify. They get laid off. Their financial plans change. Together, even though we're having a decrease in new listings, the number of those back on market listings have come together to still support what looks to be more homes on the market, which they are in number, but the actual number of new listings is dropping more. Now, the number of homes that have had a price adjustment in the last 45 days, 1,330. This is consistently sitting at 31% now for 3 weeks in a row. It was 29.4% 4 weeks ago. So it's just sitting around that 30 to 31 point. Nationally, we're at 39% of listings that have had a price adjustment in the last 40 days. And these are 45 days. And these are the homes that rushed to market in June. These were sellers trying to get ahead of the market. That's the data that those forecasters of a real estate housing crash, they're using those numbers. But unfortunately, since June, the numbers swung back the other direction, solidly in favor of sellers. Now, let's take a look at the number of supply of homes. We've sold 2,102 homes in the last 30 days, based on an active total of 4,258. That gives us 2.02 months of inventory. That's the same 2 months of inventory we've now had for 6 weeks in a row, folks. That's it. So that, again, the number of the inventory of homes out there is not declining to any or increasing to any significant number. It's just cruising along. Okay, number of 4-car garage homes. Homes with a 4-car garage or larger, currently 124 in the market. Now, 37 of these are below $1 million. Last week it was 38, the week before that 37. So we're just still sitting along that same point where it's about 30% of the homes with a 4-car garage are under $1 million. That's consistent. There's 17 new listings in the last week with a 4-car garage or larger. 14 homes went pending. And interestingly enough, only 4 sold with a 4-car garage. That's half of what we were seeing the previous week. So maybe that's just a week-to-week anomaly. We'll see. The supply of homes, we've sold 40 homes with a 4-car garage in the last 30 days. Out of 124, that's giving us, once again, that right at 3-month supply of homes with a 4-car garage. Again, it's skewed because there's so many above $1 million. That price point is definitely taking longer days on market. Absolutely normal. Now, here's the analysis in part. We know that we've hit the peak of summer listings. We know that. Again, the number of active listings is holding steady, slightly trending downward, but the number of new listings in the market is dropping down further. Where that extra piece is coming in are the listings coming back on the market. Sellers, frankly, do not feel the need to sell. So we're not seeing a dumping or an abundance of new homes. They're sitting in a very strong financial position with plenty of equity, nice cheap mortgage by comparison, maybe 3%. They're in a very strong financial position. Now contrast that with buyers who there's pressure on them because there is still such a limited supply of homes. If a seller doesn't have to sell and the home isn't on the market, if a buyer's buying, it's for a reason. They're relocating, they're trying to get in before school, they're growing their families or outgrowing their rentals. They're getting into being forced into making a purchase, and they want to purchase rather than get back into a rental, perhaps. There is definitely pressure on the buyers. Now, that said, for smart buyers working with a good agent, we can capitalize on some opportunities out there, going and finding a home that's been on the market and has come back on with a price adjustment, or is almost, we expect to have a price adjustment. Let's go in and write that offer before they attract attention with the price adjustment, and suddenly there's many more fish going for that same bait in the water. Work with an agent like me to find that out. That's what I do. I specialize in understanding the strategy and the data and looking at that and thinking, here's an opportunity for you as my client. Now, as I said earlier, if your view of the fall housing market involves a crash, let's just say hypothetically, right now the data is not supporting it. And historically, even the data back from 2007, 2008 said that we were 15 to 18 months out before we saw significant negative impact based on housing, based on the underlying economy. Now, circumstances were different back in 2007, 2008. The lending industry had very few restrictions on it compared to now. We have those restrictions in place now. We also have significant equity in the hands of sellers. So even if someone loses their job with a change in the economy, there's still a lot of buffer. Now, the best minds that I listen to, the Altos forecast, they're saying that yes, we will continue to go into 23 with a housing shortage. And it's hard to get supply and demand out of whack or out of sync when you still have such a limited supply. The demand can't change that supply. If you adjust the supply, demand can change abruptly. But if the supply is still limited, it significantly restricts the ability of how demand can affect the overall market. All right, that's it. I've hit 8 minutes. I'm well past my time. Have yourself a wonderful week. I'll see you next Tuesday, because Monday's Labor Day. I'll see you Tuesday instead. Aloha.